It does seem like summer things pick up more in the summer. I don't know if it's just people are more excited about
Absolutely.
fitness and stuff, or I don't know what it is, but it's just the
I
summer.
mean, yeah, I would probably say so, right? Because I mean, like, I would say like a lot of people like are probably going to like the beach or whatever, like the pool, vacation, etc. So yeah, people are probably like, oh, I should, like go work on this or go work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? How are things going?
Busy. Oh my goodness, dude. I have like three jobs now. So like when we talked last, right, it was just like the business, which is awesome. And then I started working at a local boutique, which is like 5 minutes from the beach. So that's kind of cool. And then I actually started with another company, which is basically all virtual, and that is part-time as well. And basically that way, I can see patients through insurance, so that's kind of cool. So it's just like been like a lot.
Yeah. What's that experience been like? Just working with people virtually as well as kind of like, working under, within another business and like how has that all kind of worked out so far?
Yeah, so I just began at the other job, right? Like last Thursday, actually. So
Wow.
I've really only seen like two patients so far, but this Thursday and Friday I have a good bit of patients like with them. And honestly, like it's kind of cool. Like I saw some were from like the West Coast. So I was like, "Oh, okay." So because I don't think I've really like in my business, right, in the past 3 years, the only like West Coast person, right, I've had, she's in Washington State. So like, like that's obviously awesome too. But I think a few I have coming up are from like California. So I'm like, oh, all right,
What
cool.
kind of yeah, what kind of like clients are they? Are they like medical or are they just people who want to get into that side of things or what is it?
Yeah, so far, obviously like kind of like without going into everything, right? But just like basic weight loss so far. I know one coming up, I believe, wants to more so work on like meal planning and whatnot, but nothing too crazy or too big so far. But I mean, for the most part, like under my like specialties, if you will, I just like first and foremost, I just said like general health, like women's health. What else did I say? Healthy aging, like maybe there was another term that I used, but anyway, so yeah. So it's
Gotcha.
been like super cool. I will say like those sessions are 60 minutes. So like that's definitely been a bit of like I would say an adjustment, but like it's been great. So
Yeah.
like honestly, like when I had the first one last week, like 60 minutes like went by like extremely fast. I was like, whoa.
Right.
So that was cool.
Yeah, that initial, I guess, like talk with somebody, you're trying to kind of get to know them. You're trying to figure out a little bit about like their habits, I guess, what their goals are, how you can kind of like work to reach those goals. So I can imagine it would almost be like a pretty quick kind of,
Oh yeah.
back and forth.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like that's been awesome. And then just kind of like being, I guess, in like with the other end of the things, right? Kind of at like the like boutique, if you will. That's been obviously different, right? I haven't done retail in like since high school. So, that's only like a couple days a week. So, like, that's cool. And it definitely gets me, out and like about. So, that's been like super, super great.
Right. Yeah. In
Yeah.
today's world of like kind of a lot of online stuff, I can imagine it would be helpful to get that in-person interaction and just kind of, like you said, kind of getting out and about. And you said it was by the beach too, so that'd be pretty nice.
Very, yeah. So I mean, it's been like picking up, I would say, because next week is July 4th, which is like insane. But so I'm assuming this weekend will probably be pretty busy.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah.
With the work you're doing with the new company, how do clients reach out to you, or do you kind of choose what client? Like, is there a pool of people and you kind of pick from those? Like, how does that work out?
Yeah, so they actually have a kind of whole team, and I guess like the patients can go like through them. And so then like the back end, I guess like people, if like you will, they go and look at everyone's like availability and this and that and the other, and then that's just how it's been like done so far. But I will say they did recently update because we got an email, and patients will be able to go like book you directly like on the website, so that will be great. And I know like they can be like referred by, a doctor, psychologist, whomever, so they can go about it that way as well. Because there's like certain insurances that they go take, and like, if they don't go through insurance, it's like X amount. I forget how much it is without it, but I think for the most part, most of the people's insurance covers it, which like is great, because I honestly like was I'm under the impression that insurance did not cover that, so that's great.
Right. Yeah. Like we're all paying for this stuff, but what do we actually kind of get out of it besides, being really sick or something? But that's really cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
so good.
I was gonna say, what's that relationship like? You don't, I guess, have that long-term relationship to know yet, but like what is kind of the process like for them? Like, is there a check-in periods? Is there, do they have access to kind of like a chat feature? How does that work?
So it definitely is like a lot different, right? From like I would say how I was like doing things within my own business, right? For the past couple like years or so. So like so far, right? From basically what I go understand is that like, we just go meet like once a week. Like I think some people can meet twice a week, but again, like the whole insurance thing, like I don't know how that like side of things kind of operates, but so like so far it'll be like once every week for 60 minutes. And so the first session, obviously, like we go over everything, right? So like their history, et cetera, goals, this, that, and then the other, right? And then the follow-up session should just be, kind of us like then educating, like going over things, like seeing like what they feel they can do, and just kind of like going into that side of things. So I don't know if that answered your question. Oh,
Yeah.
check-in wise. So I would say that's would probably like what I would consider like the kind of check-in like itself, if you will. And I think they can just email us. Like I don't think there's like an actual like chat feature or anything along those lines. So it definitely is like a bit different, right? Than like what I have been like doing. But so far, knock on wood, it it has been good.
It sounds really cool. It sounds like kind of like a cool introduction for people, like on the not just to give somebody like a plan, right? Because that's a lot of times what that you could get maybe from like a medical setting, and who knows if you're going to follow it, right? But it's
Right.
also like an introduction to like education, to kind of getting more information and like the reason why you get to connect with this person. You kind of get that accountability. It sounds like a really cool thing. Is that something that like even if you weren't referred by a doctor or something like that, that someone could sign up for? Do you know that side of it?
Gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. So basically how it kind of works. And I'm trying to remember if we got into this the last time we talked about the state licensure stuff. I don't know. Did we?
I think
Um,
we maybe touched on it a little bit, but not too much.
Okay. So basically, in order to actually go work here, I had to get licensed here in North Carolina and then in Texas, because Texas is like basically where the whole company is like originally like based out of, and that's where their like main office is, I guess. So I had to get licensed there. And then basically I can essentially see patients in all of the states that the dietitians don't have to go be licensed in, right? Off the top of my head, I don't know all of them, but I would assume that like, California, they don't have to be licensed, and Arizona, they don't have to be licensed. I do know that. And Virginia, they don't have to be. So, and there's like a bunch of other states. So yeah, so basically, as long as like someone isn't either of like those, then I can go see them. So that's cool.
Gotcha. So in some states you don't necessarily like so in those states do you have registered dietitians or do you just have something else?
So they do, but they just don't have to like go pay to go get licensed. It's just all about the money.
Right, which is surprising for California. I feel like they definitely are like all about that.
Right?
It's very
Yeah.
interesting.
I know. Yeah. So yeah, and I really wish I knew at the top of my head like all of the different states, but I know that there's a good bit of them. And obviously like say that like there was someone in like whatever state, and like say I like really like really wanted like to go work with them, then yeah, I could just go get licensed, but again, it's like that just cost money.
Right. Is it just a fee or is there any like examination or anything like that that goes along with it?
So it depends on the particular state. So for North Carolina, it was just like you pay the licensure fee. I had to get my fingerprints done. I had to do a background check. I had to do what else was it? That maybe that's really actually for North Carolina, I think that was it. So like as a whole, that took like 5 to 6 weeks, right? But then for Texas, theirs you just took like a I can never say that word, jurisprudence exam. It basically maybe took like an hour-ish, all open book. So and then you go pay. And then so you pay for the exam and then you pay to be licensed. But then I found out like a few days afterwards that I got it. So I was like, cool. Because they thought it was going to take over a couple weeks, but it didn't. So anyway, so I think every state's just like all like I'm different, but you do have to like keep up with it, if you will. So like I know trying to think of what it said, like every time like right before it expires, you have to like I don't know if you have to if like your CEUs go towards that. I could be like butchering that side of things because I'll be honest, I haven't done any of those yet at all. But anyway, so I know there's a little bit more to that, but yeah, so that's like in like a nutshell. That's kind of
Gotcha.
like what happens there. Hmm.
Okay. And so you kind of mentioned the CEUs there. What are the CEU process look like? I guess it would maybe be different for each state, but for where you are and for what you know.
Yeah, so you're supposed to get X amount every 5 years. The number 70 is in my head. I feel like that's too many, but I could be totally wrong. So but again, I haven't done any yet. It's been almost 2 years since I've had my RD. But anyway, so and you can get those through like random things, right? Like honestly, there are certain like webinars you can watch and get like one or two. So that's cool. I should just do those honestly. But and like there's some other stuff I know we have to have for the academy, and I don't remember. There's like certain stuff you have to have like upload in your profile. I don't even know, to be honest with you, but yeah, so that's how that works. It's kind of like a lot, honestly.
No, doubt that kind of sounds like it. Um, in terms of like CEUs and stuff, I guess since you haven't done any, you may not know, but like, is there what are some of the stuff that they try to continually educate you on? Is it like specifically updates on nutrition stuff? Like, what is it?
Yeah, and honestly, because I haven't like done any yet, I'm not gonna be the best person to go answer this question. I want to say it's just, like various like nutrition aspects. I know I kept getting emails for like a weight management one, so like stuff like that with diabetes, and there may be different categories within that. I could be totally remembering it wrong since I haven't actually done any yet, but I know I got an email about something like one CEU or whatever that was like a webinar for what was it? It was a supplement brand. It was kind of interesting. Or Orgain, if you've ever heard of them. Orgain, it's like pink and green and like white. It's a tub. You can Costco sells like they might sell the actual tub of it and like the little like pre-made shakes and stuff. It's I don't know if it's all plant-based, but anyways, I know a lot of athletes tend to use them because they're like third party tested and like what is it, NSF approved, national sport, yeah, approved in like all of those things. But anyway, so that was one like I don't remember like what the topic was, but yeah, so
Are you struggling with the common challenges of marketing and managing systems? Well, let me introduce you to our new sponsor, Big Play Digital Solutions. At Big Play Digital, they specialize in helping fitness professionals like yourself overcome these hurdles. Their mission is simple: to provide seamless support in digital marketing and system management so you can focus on what you do best, serving your clients. Now here's the reality. Many of us fitness professionals find ourselves spending more time on administrative tasks and marketing efforts than actually working with our clients. It's time to change that. Big Play Digital has the perfect solution. First, they create and execute effective digital marketing strategies tailored to your needs. From boosting your online visibility, attracting the right clients, and boosting retention, they've got your back. SEO, email marketing, social media marketing, content creation, they've got the expertise. But that's not all. They also offer comprehensive system management solutions. Their business management software, specifically designed for the fitness industry, streamlines processes, automates administrative tasks, and enhances client communications. More time, less hassle. The result, a more streamlined, efficient, and profitable fitness business that can compete effectively in today's digital landscape. Sounds like the solution you've been looking for, right? So if you're ready to take your fitness business to the next level, I encourage you to connect with Big Play Digital Solutions. They'll tailor their services to meet your specific needs and help you succeed. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Empower your fitness business with Big Play Digital Solutions. Connect with them today. It's interesting, it's kind of tying the CEUs together with like brands and different, companies and that kind of that side of it is very interesting to me.
yeah, I never thought about it like that though. But actually, now that we are talking about this, I just remembered. So there was like I don't know if it still counts for some CEUs for us, but there was like a few like dietitian run like business mentorships or whatever, and those were X amount of CEUs, which was interesting. I want to say there were some I thought maybe there were some like personal training certifications that counted, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if that would make sense. Or maybe they have like some program within that could count. But it may also be, I'm thinking of CEUs for like as a personal trainer, I don't remember because like so I got my certification back like in college, but it was from like I'm not like super like awesome company, and I don't even remember what the company is called now. So anyways, but I don't remember if it was like for something like that, like where you like do you have to have CEUs for that? Like when you're
I
like
think
personal
you I
trainer or
think you
something?
do. I think so.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe what I'm remembering is that honestly.
Coming out of school, I feel like at least in my experience,
Mhm.
I had a decent amount of like factual information,
Oh yeah.
but I didn't have that as much obviously experience and like confidence. And but when you start to like do things, you gain that confidence and you gain actually more knowledge, more experience, more wisdom in how to do things, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. And it almost makes like what you learned in school seem somewhat like irrelevant, right? Like you needed the
Right.
stuff to like pass a test and it was good to have that core information, but
Yep.
to me it's like it almost seems like you're downgrading the value that like a 20-year registered dietitian would have, being like, hey, you need to do this because we don't think you're keeping up with it yourself in some way.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that, but that makes complete sense, because and I think we talked about this last time, but and like I basically said, I feel like I have learned more in the time being out of college than I did when I, like was actually there. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There are actually other like RD specialization slash certifications, which obviously cost a lot more money and then your time, that you can go do, say like they have something you can get like to go say that you're a certified diabetes educator, but you have to like go take like more classes and do this, that, and the other. And it's like, why? And then, if you want to be like a sports RD, actually, you like that is just a very, very long thing, because that's actually what I wanted to go do like a while ago, right? So I had interned for a tiny bit at Vanderbilt, actually. And I had intern with their dietitian, and at the time I want to say they were new to having a dietitian, so it was just her doing like all of the teams.
Oh
Like
wow.
that is overwhelming.
Yeah.
And basically, so like their hours are like super not great. Like I remember her telling me she had to be there at like 5 a.m., didn't get home till like 8 or 9, and I was like, oh my God, no, like I cannot do that. So I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, to be a sports RD. Yes. So yeah, so basically before you can even go do that, you have to like go intern after your actual internship. So that's like more time without actually getting paid. And then you have to take, I think I could be remembering this wrong though. I want to say there's like another test you have to take after your regular RD exam, but again, I could be wrong. But it's very lengthy, very lengthy.
Yeah.
And then there's another different specialization. Oh, so if you want to work with let's see, eating disorder patients, you have to get some type of like specialization that like makes sense, because that's like, a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
Um and then I think one for pediatrics, there's a separate thing. It's just like, well, what can I go work in, right?
But you come out with this like with this thing that seems like so, it seems like it's so specialized already, right? Like nutrition, and then like
Yeah.
even on top of that, registered dietitian. Like that seems like such
Mhm.
like a you not unique, but like it just seems like this title, right? And then you just have to
Yeah.
like continue to go and add on to that to even be able to really do anything.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I had a sports dietitian on actually before, or
Oh,
I
cool.
think they were a sports RD. I think they did.
Okay.
I'm sure they were, because they worked with a college and then they went on now to work actually with a Major League Baseball team. So I'm hoping to
Nice.
get them back on and kind of chat about that experience.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But when you
That'd be
mentioned like working those hours, it's crazy because when I worked or interned at a high school, the strength
Mhm.
conditioning coach had those similar kind
That
of
too.
had those
Yes.
similar hours of like getting in the morning super early, working with teams before school.
Yeah.
During school they had stuff, they had classes they had to do and stuff like that. And then after school, during certain times of the year, I mean, they were there, like you said, like I don't know when we really left, maybe 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I mean, it was a full full day.
It's wild. Yeah. I actually, my senior year of college, I also did intern with our like sports coach too. And yeah, like he was there because so they had like two of them, right? Like one did like a certain number of teams and one did the other. Like I was helping work with the cheer team, the what else did I do? Oh, I got a brain fart. Women's soccer, cross country, track. Um, there was another one, I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, and yeah, like I would get there at like 6 or 7, and I was like, oh my God.
Are you looking for a supplement company that can help take your fitness game to the next level? Look no further than All Sport Pharmaceuticals. Their cutting edge supplements are scientifically formulated to give you the edge you need in the gym and in life. Whether you're looking to build muscle, increase endurance, or boost recovery time, All Sport Pharmaceuticals has you covered. And with a wide range of products designed for people of all levels, you're sure to find the perfect supplement for your needs. So why wait? Give your body the support it deserves with All Sport Pharmaceuticals. Visit their website today to learn more and start achieving your fitness goals. Are you tired of struggling with marketing and system management? Well, Big Play Digital is here to change the game for you. Their mission is simple: to provide seamless support in digital marketing and system management so you can focus on what truly matters: delivering exceptional fitness service to your clients. Big Play Digital understands the unique demands of the fitness industry. They've tailored their software and services specifically for your needs. From SEO to email marketing, social media, and content creation, they've got it all covered. Big Play Digital offers comprehensive system management solutions designed specifically for fitness professionals. It's time to take your fitness business to new heights.
Honestly, like the reason why I did go and then intern with them, because I guess I kind of interned with them both, sort of, kind of, because like I did want to actually like be a like strength coach after school, well, like after I was done, but then it was like, then you had to go take the like CSCS, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
That thing was intense. I didn't take it, but we had a class in college that was solely focused around that exam, and we learned from that book, the NSCA
Yeah,
CSCS. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, just the amount of like forgetting the test part, but the actual like practical part, it was just like, whoa, that's really intimidating.
Right? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even know why I guess I never went through with it because I went back to school for like everything else. So I was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna, go do that anymore. But yeah, so that it definitely seemed like super hard for sure.
No, yeah, it's I think definitely a good thing because you have so many, so many people you have to take care of, so much information. I think the more, information we can have, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that is one interesting, like when you look at fitness and nutrition, like I feel like RD, like registered dietitian has a certain like people look at that at a certain level, right? Like they get pretty good respect behind their name. And then I
Yeah.
think the same is true with strength conditioning coaches typically. And if people kind of have any understanding of that, I think those two, when it comes to like fitness, or like exercise and diet, I think those two are kind of like the pinnacles in a way of
Yeah.
what you would kind of see for each of those. And then you kind of have like the levels under those.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. Because both of those things are what, like, like they are what everything like is a part of, right? Like when it comes to like weight loss, like building, like toning up or whatever it is, right? Yeah, because both of those are extremely, extremely important. And that's basically, how you get from like this goal to that goal. So yeah.
For sure. I want to kind of go back a little bit what we were talking about before.
Mhm.
Not specifically in what you're doing now, but just in general, when you're working with someone new, how do you actually like make that initial assessment? What are some things that you do? What are some things that like you maybe have them fill out, or like what information do you kind of look for when it comes to like giving assessing them and then giving something to initially kind of set out with, because I guess most times that's not going to be their forever plan, but it's something to kind of start them out on. So how do you kind of give them that initial assessment and then that initial plan?
What I go do first, right? Like they get sent out like a whole like long like questionnaire, right? Like health history, medical history, etc., like dieting history, this, that, and then like the other, right? So we get on to our call, right? And I just like more so want to kind of go understand like basically like everything they have then kind of, I would say, gone through in the past, right? Like when it comes to like wanting to go either like lose weight, like gain muscle, just like get healthier as a whole, etc. And so, and I feel like we talked about this maybe, yeah, I think we talked about this last time, but I like predominantly use like, or I like go by, calories, like protein, carbs, fats, etc., for like my own like clients within the other biz, or like within the other job, right? Like I don't I haven't like, gone through that yet with people. So I don't know if that's quite the way I'm gonna take with them per se. But like, with MPBN, like that is like what I do, right? Like, like based off of, your 5 to 7 like day food logs, these are going to be like, these starting like calories, like macros, fiber, water, steps, blah, 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 right? And so for the most part, I would say people are with PBN, like, so I have someone who she's been with me for over 2 years now, and like it's been great, right? And I want to say she's probably the longest one of the longest clients that I've worked with in PBN. Like I had another one like a while ago. She worked with me for like over a year and a half, and then came back like last year just for like a bit. And now she is back, off on her own. But anyway, so I would say I'm trying to think of how to transition slash to like what you had asked. So okay, let me back up. So we basically, like go like chat about what like we can kind of go do to go get them from, X point to like this point, right? And then we just kind of, go into like what may have been holding them back, right? Like I know for like example, when I had a new client start, what month are we in? June? Last month, she was with like a previous coach, and the like, and I think I said this before on the last podcast, but like run like every coach isn't going to go and then like work best with everyone, right? Like I know that, like that. Yeah. So like they just didn't like work the best together because like she wasn't getting like I don't want to say like one like care that like she should have, right? But she kind of like wasn't in like kind of a way. But anyways, so basically like on the call we had, after she started, after I sent her over everything, etc. Like we just kind of like went into like all of her concerns, that she basically had with the last person. And so like after that was like over an hour call, and like I feel like that helped her like tremendously, right? And so like example, a couple of the things on that particular call was like like basic things, if you will, but like how to like log when you're out, or like how to like log like this kind of thing or whatever it is, and just kind of like almost like erasing like the guilt associated like with eating a slice of like a pizza, or like a certain type of like dish you would go get out, like pasta or like whatever it is, and so I feel like as a whole that really helped. So I had someone else start last month, right? Her and I have actually like known each other since college, so like that's awesome. But anyways, so she came to me wanting to actually like gain muscle, because she's literally got like a six-pack, and she is currently eating 330 grams of carbs, and she still has a six-pack, and I'm like, oh my god. But anyways, so when she started, her carbs were like not that high. They were maybe at like, I don't know, 240, 260 something or whatever it is. And so basically, from the past couple of weeks or so, we just kind of like, so basically I was just going to keep her there for like a bit, because I honestly like did not think she would go hit that number, like, like right off of the bat. But like she was actually like pretty much every week since then. So it's been about a month now. She's been like going above and then beyond, right? Like 300, 320. And I'm like, holy crap. But it's like she still looks awesome. So I'm like, okay, like hell yes. So but anyway, so back to what you had like originally asked. So yeah, so like like I would say in a way like her plan like has changed, because like we're really trying like to go push food so that she can in hopes like put on some like a muscle mass, because I want to say she hasn't really ever done like a muscle like gaining period like this, because I don't want to call it like a bulk, because I feel like that just sounds like but so I don't know if that sort of answered your question there, but she's like absolutely killing it and just like totally eating all of the food and like lean as shit. So I'm like, okay.
This podcast is sponsored by Smoking Gun Coffee, a veteran-owned coffee company
that strives to give back to those in need. Don't forget to use code TWR10 for a 10% discount at checkout. Looking for a supplement company that's as serious about your fitness goals as you are? Allsport Pharmaceuticals is here to help. Their top-of-the-line supplements are designed to help you get the most out of every workout with ingredients that have been scientifically proven to enhance performance and recovery. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting out on your fitness journey, Allsport Pharmaceuticals has the perfect supplements to help you achieve your goals. Plus, with their commitment to quality and safety, you can trust that you're getting a product that's both effective and reliable. So what are you waiting for? Take your fitness game to the next level with Allsport Pharmaceuticals. Visit the website today to learn more.
Working with different people, especially like getting into, doing what you're doing now with what you just started, and kind of, meeting new people from all over, and kind of, different body types, different ages, different genetics and body makeups and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
What would you say is kind of like that average time you feel like it takes you to almost get to know somebody's body, and then how it's going to respond and how things are going, adding this is going to do this. How long do you think it takes on just in general?
Yeah, I would say so. This also does depend on if the person is consistent, right? Because, like if they're not consistent, then we're not going to be able to go tell. But, if someone is consistent, I would say at least like, I don't know, like two-ish, like 1 to 2 months. I don't know. I mean, also, and it's like, I honestly give like this disclaimer to every person I begin working with, right? I say like, obviously I like do not know how your body is going to go react to like this amount of carbs or like this amount of that. So, it's kind of like a waiting game, if you will, for at least like the first couple weeks or so. And so, I just, as long as I go say that, I'm like, all right, like we're good here. But yeah, so I would say at least like a month, maybe month and a half or so, if everything is all good. But that's kind of like what I've seen in the past few years or so.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. And if somebody comes to you and they're like, hey, I want to achieve this goal, like I want, maybe it's not even just like a physical aesthetic goal, it's more of just like I want to kind of feel better, like feel more, energy,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And they're like, okay, I want to do that, but I want to do it through carnivore. I want to do it through paleo. I want to do it through keto. Like, is that something that you do, or is it more like you try to stay away from those things and more, you know, just like whole food, like whole diets? Like, how, if somebody approached you like that, how would you, work with that person?
Yeah. So I'll be honest, in the past few years, no one has ever asked me any of those things. But, like say someone wanted to, you know, and this is honestly something that we learned like in school, right? Like, if someone wants to go do those things, you are supposed to say, okay, like that's great. Like we can definitely go try that. But, if it like does not work, then, we can always like go resort like to this, right? Because it's like, sure, I am like not a component like of the keto diet unless said person like has epilepsy, right? Or like they're prone to like getting like seizures and this, that, and then the other, like that's fine because like they actually have like done the data on that and like it does help, right? So like that's great. But if it's just someone like, oh, I feel like the keto diet's gonna help me like go lose weight like the fastest. Well, no, because like that's not like that's not what like my business is like around, right? Like I don't like do quick fixes. I never have. Like I myself have never done a quick fix. I don't believe ever. So and so I don't want like my business to like be like reflected of that, if that makes sense. But like sure, like somebody may like I'm trying to think of a good example. Here we go. So I have a client, she just finished this week actually. And so, like I believe her body does better with, higher fats compared to the carbs, but not in like a keto fashion, right? Like, so like, you know, she doesn't do over like 100 grams of fat and like maybe 20 or 30 grams of carbs. Like, no. Like her carbs are so high and her fat is, you know, like it's not like super high, maybe 70s. So like in the grand scheme, that's like not like the ratio of the keto diet. But anyway, so like, you know, sure, like someone's body like may do better with a bit higher fat, and like that's awesome. But like, you know, if they are wanting to go for the keto side, it's like, well, like, do you know the long-term effects of it? Like, you know, like high like cholesterol, like high like triglycerides, high, you know, this, that, and the other. Like it's not going to be the best. So I don't know if that answered your question there, but that's kind of how I would approach like the keto side. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a super large amount about the drawing blank, not the paleo one, the other one
Carnivore.
that you said. Yes, that. It's just basically all meat, right? Maybe
Yeah.
some vegetables
Yeah.
if
I
that.
think, I think it's, from what I've heard, I've never like looked it up, but meat and then maybe some fruit too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's like it's basically just protein and a little bit of carbs and fiber. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a component of it.
Do you try to push people towards getting blood work done on any basis or, anything like that?
Yeah, so I do encourage them, you know, every 6 to 12 months, you know, and so here's the thing. You know, a lot of people, you know, obviously they want to get blood work done through insurance. That's great. But it's like when they do get it done through insurance, it's what, maybe once a year, maybe possibly twice. So like that's cool, but they also like don't get tested like of what everything that like they could slash like should be getting tested, right? Like I've had to actually like send in something for a client, like this was a few months ago, maybe that was last year, but anyways, basically, you know, telling them why they should go test her, or like why they should do a full thyroid panel and this, that, and the other, because it's like they wouldn't do it, and I'm like, you need to do it. Like I don't understand. So honestly, like that's why like I have encouraged like some, you know, some to go through like the like third party sites, right? Like I personally get mine done through like life x extension. I can never say that word. And I think it's great because you get literally everything done, like boom, boom, boom. Sure, you know, insurance does not cover it. That part does kind of suck. But at the same time, it's like you get everything done that you want to do. It does not take long. You do, you know, everything online, then you go in, hand them like the sheet, they go take your blood, and then you get the results like 2 weeks afterwards. Like it's great. So that's honestly what I encourage many people to do. You know, whether they do it, obviously, you know, is on them, right? So I can't really help like that situation out, because it's like, you know, what's the analogy? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, or like something like
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
But yeah, so that's pretty much how I like go, and then like I'm a like approach that. Now I will say, like, one of my new patients with like the other job that I had seen last week, her most recent blood work was like 2022, like sometime last year. So like this week, and I want to say she's looking for a new doctor. So I'm hoping, you know, like she'll be able to get blood work done. That's all updated. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much like I would say how I go about that. I myself got blood work done back in January or February, prior to beginning like this like bodybuilding, like I'm a prep, and then like I had to get it again before I actually began prep. So I got done like in May, and like just in those couple months, like it was insane. I was like, oh my God. So yes, like, you know, getting like your shit done, like you like really should like. And so, you know, I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure like there's people in my own family that don't get their blood work done, and I'm like, you are missing out, like truly.
Yeah. Just, I feel like it gives you the power back to be like, okay, I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
I don't think people I don't know, just like they don't take themselves, their health as serious as they do other aspects. Like you would never go like years without looking at your bank account. You would never go years without like, checking in on something as important as your health. Like, why are you so against like taking that step into doing something about it? And I think for some people it's fear. Like if you haven't done something in 5 years,
That's true.
10 years, it's like, oh wow, what's this gonna, number gonna be? Because it's funny because people, it is weird in a way, because I do feel like people will be like living a somewhat like a, for them, a normal life, whatever that may look like, and then they do go to the doctor and it's like, oh crap, I have like to take these prescriptions now, or I have to like, so it can be like almost life altering in a way, and sometimes prescription is like the best case scenario, but it can
Yeah,
be like life altering in a way, I think, too, to kind of know that information and have to do something about it.
that's absolutely correct. Yeah. And, that's probably why like a lot of people like kind of like go away from that side of things. But like I really liked what you had said about comparing it to like checking like your bank account and stuff, because like that's so accurate, like I mean, like it literally gives you like the whole picture like
Yeah.
of what's going on inside of you. And so like that's something else, like I know in the past, like I had a client and she like she wound up having H pylori that was like, like extremely high. And so, thankfully, like, after, because like even the blood work did not show that, obviously. So then like we went on doing a GI map and boom, it was on there. And I'm like, I'm so happy that we got that all done. So, and that's one of the things like that also kind of sucks because it's like, like insurance does not cover that either. And so it's like, come on, insurance, like cover it, please.
Right. No, yeah, I mean, I actually had a recent, well, somewhat recent, 2 months ago, I had a night stay in the hospital, and just
Hmm.
trying to like have that whole process of like the billing from the hospital, then it gets
Oh,
sent to the insurance, and it gets sent back, and you get to see it, and then it
yeah.
goes to the hospital, and it's like this whole process, and it's like, uh, just just having that, like, in that case it kind of sucked even more, obviously, because I had to like go to the hospital for something. I didn't like go there. I didn't go to the doctor to get my blood work done. Like it wasn't something that I was wanting to do. But then you
Right.
get on that, like, just that feeling that of like, oh man, this whole process, it takes long. It's like you might have to call people because things aren't working, and like blah blah blah, and you have to figure things out. So yeah, like insurance in and of itself, like I feel like it just makes it hard. It almost makes it like they don't want you to use it for some like that kind of thing. They just make it
Mhm.
so confusing about like what these things mean, and then it's like it takes so long for things to work, and just not a fun process.
No, agreed completely. And, and I may have said this in the last podcast, but like that's why like I never ever have accepted insurance through like my own, like I'm a business, right? Because it was just like it's like one, a lot, right? Like a lot of work. Two, like you won't get paid as much because like they would go take a lot of it. And at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's just like not like it wasn't like worth it to me in that moment, right? So that's why it's like, like I kind of get the best of like the both worlds, right? Like I get people like with NPBN, and then I also like get the other patients like through the other kind of place who like yes they like will go like through insurance, and hopefully like it'll all go well like on both sides, but
I think it definitely is, having both experiences there. I think it does offer you kind of like a sneak peek into both worlds, and kind of trying to see like, this is a benefit of this is kind of a con of this one. This is, these are some things that maybe you could learn from working at, somewhere new, and implement into your own thing, or hey, this is something that I learned, working for my own business, and kind of how I can implement those into not necessarily the policies and procedures aspect, but just like the experience itself. And you can kind of like have more of an understanding of what's going on, where somebody else might not have that same experience.
exactly. Yep. Absolutely. And I do like kind of how like, within the other place, like I don't have to kind of like go like find my patients, like they'll just kind of like bring them like to me. So like that like is awesome.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Takes a little bit of that stress and that workload off of you for sure.
Absolutely. Like it's only been like less than a week and like it's like this is great.
Since we chatted last, what do you feel like has been some of the things that you've kind of have
Yeah.
you kind of like picked up any like small like little interest or like little things that you've been looking at from the within the world of nutrition, or just maybe trends you've seen that you've kind of like analyzed a little bit or anything like that in the last several months?
This may sound kind of odd. So something I have actually picked up on since I started working so since I started working at the boutique is that so many women like dislike their bodies. And that just like makes me like extremely sad because like that is awful. Like that sucks, like, I'll just be in there, overhearing like ladies, granted they may be like middle-aged, whatever, but they're like, oh yeah, I have I'm trying to think of what somebody said yesterday. I have this like menopausal gut now, or I have like bat wings. I'm like, why are we talking like this about ourselves? And it just like it does take everything in me to just be like, Kayla, nope, just like shut up. Like shut up. Or then like some of them will be like, oh, I am on a diet, so I hope these pants will fit. And I'm like, Kayla, don't say anything, do not say anything. And like I just want to kind of be like, here is like my card, please give me a call. As a whole, I don't know. I feel like those are the big things I've honestly like picked up on. I mean, that may not have completely answered your like question, but I will say something I've been like super interested in like maybe the past, I don't know, few months or so is actually like what is in our water. Because it's like apparently like the water here in Wilmington, North Carolina is like awful, like awful, awful. And so I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but we got like a Berkey filter. Granted, I don't know like how extremely awesome it is because I've actually heard there's better filters, but whatever. We got one for Christmas and it definitely helps like go like remove the like extreme chloride taste, I guess it is, because let me tell you, the water here is disgusting. But yeah, so like I have found that like that's been great. And then like when we were in Colorado last week or so, like their water was not too bad at all. And honestly, something I noticed when like we were out there is that people actually put a much like larger emphasis on their like health, bodies, etc. than like I feel like people do over here, which I just found that I was like mind blown at that. I was like, I love this.
It is interesting just like how that can be so regional for whatever reason.
Yeah, no, there like really is though. And trying to think of something else I had noticed when we were out there, like, granted also like I am aware obviously that, like being out there was a lot more to kind of like I would say go do outside, right? Like you can go hiking, like rock climbing, this, that, and the other, but it's like there was just so many people active and it was like refreshing. And I was like, we need to move here. But I think we actually are gonna like move there next summer. So
Makes
but
sense.
yeah, but so it was just like so like great to go see, because I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, like we live at like the beach and like you would think people like would be extremely active here, but it's like from what I see, they're really not. Like they're not like as active as one would think they would be at the beach. So it's kind of like interesting to think about.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
It was great getting to chat with you again. I really appreciate you
Oh my
coming on
gosh,
the
yes.
podcast.
Yes. Thank you so much. Let's see. Instagram is at nutrition with Kale. So Kailss. Then I do have a Purely Balanced Nutrition Instagram. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't updated that in a hot minute. So and then let's see, website is just purelybalancednutrition.com, and that's how you can find me.
If you're tired of searching for a coach or trainer, somebody who knows what they're talking about and has experience, make sure you go check out the new Coach's Corner on weightroompodcast.com. You can find quality, qualified coaches to help you achieve your goals, whether that's in bodybuilding or just general fitness. Stop wasting time and start achieving your goals today. The link to the Coach's Corner is down in the description below.